Joining us now to break down the DNC further is Syracuse University political science professor Grant Reeher.
Grant, always good to see you. Thanks for being with us. Really appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
So I think most people know President Biden's decision to step down from the ticket. Of course, he spoke last night, very late or early this morning, whichever way you want to look at it. But what was your takeaway from that, his speech?
Well, I think he wanted to provide as much of a positive send-off for Kamala Harris as he could, and I think he was successful in that. The time of the speech didn't help, I think, for live viewers. The thing that was missing for me was a statement, a clear statement as to exactly what his thinking was in stepping down and whether or not he felt he had a cognitive issue. I know that that's probably unlikely to be discussed at a national convention, but I think given that the Democratic Party has kind of branded itself as the party of transparency, the party of democracy, that the American public does need an explanation for this. It's historic, hasn't happened before in quite this way, and so I was expecting a little more on that issue than he provided, but otherwise I think he provided a very strong send-off. He obviously was touched by the love that the delegates and the party leaders showed him, and so that was a nice moment. But there was one thing I thought that was missing that was important.
Yeah,
too.
I don't think you're alone in thinking that. But tonight, the Obamas, former President Clinton tomorrow night. What's your sense of the message Democrats are trying to push out this week?
Well, they're in an interesting position because the energy of the party is clearly with a different generation, and the policies that those folks want to see are really not that well represented by the elders in the party, and so that's a challenge. And so you're getting the party elders, you're getting the big names. Bill Clinton used to be called the big dog, I think, when he was on the campaign trail. So, you're getting those folks, and that's, I think, to balance perhaps the concerns that are going to be in the country as to exactly how a Kamala Harris presidency would be different from a Joe Biden presidency. And so I think this is partly to emphasize continuity, perhaps to emphasize a bit of moderation, and also just to, bring out the big guns.
Grant, how much would you say the race has changed since President Biden stepped aside and Kamala Harris assumed the top of the ticket?
Oh, it's changed enormously. It was very clear that Biden was headed for a defeat. I mean, all the trends were going against him, and you could see that in the polling and in other kinds of data. It's anyone's race now. It's a whole new race, and so I think anybody would be either engaging in a fool's errand or just guessing to try to figure out what the outcome's going to be. So it has changed 180 degrees.
And we would love to get your take on the Trump-Vance response to the change in the ticket.
You mean response to the, oh, yes. Well, they have been making blunder after blunder. I think it's been probably the worst several weeks for that campaign. And the main problem that they're doing, the main mistake they're making, is that they're just, instead of going after legitimate policy concerns about where Harris stands relative to Biden, they're talking about, whether she really feels as if she's black or mispronouncing her name or these other kinds of just personal non-issues that, first of all, don't make them look very good, and second of all, just miss the biggest points that people are caring about right now. So I think they have handed the Democrats and the Harris campaign an amazing gift over the last 3 weeks.
Maybe a quick one to go out on. Seems like this is going to come down to, as they usually do, a handful of swing states, those undecided, or people who might have sat this one out. Who's doing the better job courting those people? The Harris-Walz ticket or the Trump-Vance ticket?
I think neither of them right now. I mean, Harris certainly is the better candidate in terms of just the way that she's been able to communicate. But the problem for that particular group that you rightly identified, the concern is going to be how much further to the left of Joe Biden is a Harris presidency. She's going to have to provide a really clear, reassuring answer to those voters, or else she'll have trouble. Trump has to, I guess, come back to earth, or I don't know what to say about, but he needs to be focusing on some of the policy questions and not these non-issues about Kamala Harris as a person.
Great insight as always. We appreciate your time. SU Professor Grant Reeher, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure, it's my pleasure.